When most people picture Katmai National Park, they think of Brooks Falls and the crowded viewing platforms overlooking the dense population of bears feeding during the peak salmon run in the late fall. But Katmai is enormous, and away from all those well-known corridors, there are entire watersheds where the pace is different. It's quieter and far less predictable. Out here, it's still early. The major salmon runs haven't arrived in force yet, and that changes everything. Before the fish stack up, bears aren't specializing. They're generalists. They're covering ground, working multiple food sources, and conserving energy wherever they can. You'll see them moving slowly, stopping often, investigating everything, and sometimes they submerge completely. This behavior, often called snorkeling, is something you tend to see more before peak fish density. They'll push their faces underwater and hold still, using a combination of vision and sensitive whiskers to detect movement. Brown bears don't rely heavily on underwater pursuit. Instead, they're evaluating, deciding whether something is worth the effort. At this stage in the season, efficiency matters more than speed. Every decision is calculated. To most people, this interaction looks like a fight. There are swats, open mouths, teeth exposed, but the rhythm tells a different story. This is sparring. And in coastal brown bears, especially subadults, it plays a critical role in development. They're learning how to use their size, how to control force, and how to read another bear's intent. Watch closely how they often disengage. Real fights don't have this kind of restraint. Here, the bites are placed, not driven. The neck and shoulder region takes most of the contact. Protected by dense fur and loose skin, it can absorb impact without serious injury. There's also something else happening here that's easy to miss. They're negotiating space. In high-density systems like Katmai, bears are forced into close proximity during peak salmon runs. Unlike interior grizzlies, these coastal bears tolerate each other far more, but that tolerance isn't automatic. It's learned, reinforced, and constantly tested. Encounters like this establish temporary boundaries without escalation. Who yields, who holds ground, who pushes, and who backs off. It's not dominance in a fixed sense, it's situational. And right now, with food pressure still low, the cost of interaction is minimal, so they can afford to practice. People often ask what it's like to spend this kind of time around bears, whether there's some level of connection or recognition. I'll be quite frank here. There isn't, and there shouldn't be. What allows this kind of proximity isn't trust, it's neutrality. These bears are fully aware I'm here. They picked up my scent long before I ever saw them. They've assessed my movement, my posture, my behavior, and they've categorized me. I'm not food, not competition, not a threat. If anything, I'm just irrelevant. That indifference is everything. Because once a bear assigns meaning to you, positive or negative, you've already changed the interaction. Out here, the goal is to remove yourself from the equation entirely. No sudden movement, no pressure, no reason for them to adjust. When that balance is right, you get to see behavior that isn't influenced at all. No tension, no reaction, just bears operating exactly as they would if no one was watching. Early season behavior like this is easy to overlook. There are no dramatic catches, no explosive competition. But this period is critical. Bears are coming out of months of dormancy and significant caloric deficit. Before salmon arrive in numbers, they rely on whatever the system offers: vegetation, intertidal resources, and scattered fish. How efficiently they navigate this window can influence their condition going into peak feeding. And that has real consequences. Body condition affects survival, reproductive success, even cub viability. Everything is connected back to the landscape, to the watershed, to the timing and strength of salmon runs. Places like this still function as complete systems, and that's becoming increasingly rare. Because once you disrupt the system, the fish, the water, the access, you don't just lose numbers, you lose behavior. What you're seeing here is more than just wildlife. It's a system still intact enough to produce natural rhythms, natural interactions, and animals that don't have us to account for. And in the end, that may be the most important thing to protect. My name is Captain Brodey. I am a professional bear guide. This is my work. For more original bear content, from my summer's guiding in Alaska, on the ground with some of the biggest bears in the world, please subscribe to my new channel. Thank you.